What's up, guys? We're going to be talking Cage Warriors and Combate in this video. Cage Warriors coming up tomorrow at 4 p.m. You can watch that one on Fight Pass, I believe. And then Combate follows up at 7 p.m. And that one you can see on Fight TV. Now, it is hard to get results for Combate while the fights are happening. For whatever reason, MMA Junkie, Tapology, none of the websites update live. So you can find the results on their Facebook page. They do post pictures of the winners. So if you want to track your bets for Combate, you can do it on social media. Now, as far as Cage Warriors goes, those will update real time on the website. So if you aren't watching that event, you will be able to get those results pretty much right away. So we'll talk about Combate first, guys. One thing I want to say is I noticed there was a lot of fights up for betting, and it is their 50th event, so that explains that. But a lot of times you'll see with Combate some mismatches. On this card, it seems like a lot of these are pretty even. Not a whole lot of options on this card, guys, so I will give some stronger leans for those guys that are going to be putting together parlays regardless across all three cards. I did talk about Fabian Edwards, the brother of Leon Edwards from the UFC. Does have some dangerous hands. He'll be fighting on Bellator, and he's fighting Mike Shipman, sorry. Shipman's also pretty dangerous, so a little bit too much respect for Fabian Edwards by the bookies. Same with Michael Page. But people will be looking to play him in parlays. So, I do like them to win. Should be dominant performances, but just not a whole lot of value. So I got to, call that out, guys. Steve Bollinger was a name, as you guys can see here on the left-hand side. I do expect him to win. Kelio Romero, another one. Those two are around 1.4 to 1.5 range. And there's also another fighter in that range on the Cage Warriors card. But, all these fighters are roughly the same confidence level. And I think there's probably about 5 names by the end of this breakdown total, there'll be about 5. So, it's hard for me. Obviously, I'll never recommend a 5-fighter parlay, and that would probably get busted up. Of course, we hope we go 5 for 5, but, it's hard to say which is the best combination to pair together for, 2-fighter combos or at the highest, right, 3-fighter parlays, right? So putting together those picks, I'll talk about it real quick at the end of the video, guys, but that is going to be a challenge because, again, they're all roughly the same confidence level. And a lot of these guys don't have a lot of pro experience, are green. There's going to be big improvements from fight to fight, so other things to consider, but nevertheless, I know a lot of people are going to be pulling the trigger on parlays, so I just want to give out my leans to give you guys a better idea. So, again, we got Bollinger, Romero. I also like Paul Elizondo Jr., but I noticed he's given up about 4 inches of height there. He has some good jiu-jitsu. I was leaning towards him pretty heavily, but again, his lines have been smashed. Him and Mads Burnell are good examples. Guys that are up under 1.2, as well as Venom Page. Heavy leans for wins, but no value, right? So got to keep that in mind, guys. You can get as many picks as you want right, but doesn't mean you're winning money on the bet slip. So it's all about the value and not a whole lot on this card, guys. The main event, again, odds being pretty accurate. A lot of people leaning towards, I believe it's Barrera. I didn't look into the fight. Oh, sorry, Becerra. A lot of people leaning that way. I haven't really looked into it enough, if I'm being honest. There was a lot of tape to look at this weekend. That wasn't one of the ones that I got into. Same with Karina Herrera. Low-level women's MMA here, guys. Could go either way. I would have looked at possible prop for a decision in that fight, but no interest in that fight either. So we're only really looking at Romero as well as the one other name, just because these two are still at 1.5. If you had to do a parlay, I don't necessarily recommend it. Definitely not to the guys that are following the strategies videos. We'll stay away from the parlays altogether. But Bollinger and Romero on this card, guys, possible options. And then some people were looking at Joel Lopez as well. I considered it, but him at 2.3 wasn't juicy enough. If he was at 2.7, I would have maybe taken a shot on Joel as well. So let's just get it straight into Cage Warriors, guys. There is a play on that one that I did think had a bit of value, and the line was off on. So we'll talk about that first. It's the main event between James Webb and Nathius Frederick. They did fight already. This is the rematch. Went to a draw the first time around. It was the first fight in the promotion for Frederick. James Webb, it was his first title defense. So, you know, and again, it went to a draw. Some people thought Frederick won. Wouldn't be mad at anybody who thought Webb won. So it should be a decent fight. They had Nathius up at 3-1. I saw that yesterday and pulled the trigger. I've been told now it's down to 2.6. I still think that's a bit off. I think it should be, you know, maybe 2-1 for Frederick would be, you know, would be accurate, having him as the dog at 2-1. But, you know, 2.6 still leaves a bit of room there even. So I did take a 0.75 unit shot there to win 1.5 units. So in total, we have, you know, about 2 units out on straight bets. First, with the Bellator card, we put out about 1.2 units to win that too. And then with this one, 0.5 units to win, or sorry, 0.75 units to win 1.5. So we got those at 2.6 and 3.0. And those had value, guys. Any of these bets, let's just say it lost, right? You still made a good bet. There still was value. The line was off, and in the long term, or in the long run, I should say, you will make money this way, right? Every week except the one, and I didn't count that week as a winner because of the fact I didn't count the parlays, and I was just being critical there. Somebody did mention in my video yesterday, shout out to them, that I did go 6 for 6 overall, really, when you break down all the winnings. But again, I wanted to be critical with that, so we canceled out any parlay winnings for that week. So in this on this video, I wanted to kind of be the same and make everybody aware that the parlay options are really risky for these events. But again, I do have some heavy leans, so I wanted to give those out. Most valuable play, though, for sure, guys, across both cards here, it's going to most likely be Frederick. I also noticed, if we scroll down here, another line that was a bit off, and that's Paddy Pimblett and Joe Giannetti. Now, Joe Giannetti was on The Ultimate Fighter in the past. You know, he is nasty on the ground, more of a karate style with the stand-up. He does have all his fights up available on YouTube to watch. He has a YouTube channel, so you could check that out if you're interested. Paddy Pimblett, not a whole lot up to look at for him. There are a few fights. He's going to probably look to grapple in this fight. You know, they pretty much cancel each other out on the feet. I feel like Joe Giannetti, because of the short notice, should be at about, you know, maybe a 2.2 underdog, definitely not 3-1. So I was thinking about taking a shot there. If he goes up to 3.2, 3.3, which is possible, you'll know I took a shot. Right now I haven't pulled the trigger because there is, you know, some other plays that I was looking at, but it's looking to me like, you know, for parlay options, those are going to be off the table. So likely that Giannetti might get another, you know, half a unit play, depending on those lines. So, you know, not a whole lot, guys, for the amount of fights this weekend. But there are, you know, guys that I really strongly like to win. It's just me following the strict routine. I didn't want to bust up any parlays or lose any potential winnings from the other straight bets. That's one thing I do consider a lot of the time, guys. Any of the parlays that I do make or any less confident bets are potentially going to eat into the winnings that we have on the bets that are more confident, right? So you don't want to hurt yourself in that way where you have the ones you really like and then all that profit, if you do win, is taken by those less confident bets, and that stings, right? So I just want to keep people away from you know, losing money a stupid way or putting their money in stupid positions when they have those options to, you know, really put it in a strong position, right? Now, again, guys, if you do have any questions about, you know, what parlays or if your parlay looks good, things like that, I'll always be down to give my opinion. It's just as far as laying out a bunch of different options here, you know, maybe something like Romero and Edwards, you know, will probably be a popular parlay. But for guys like me, or even the guys that are following the strategies videos, it's just not really worth the risk, right? I do know that a lot of people just want to put a bit more excitement on the fights and have a stake, and that's cool. I do give the plays out for those guys as well. But it is a betting focused channel, guys, so it's hard for me to give out plays or recommend anything with where I don't see any value, right? And a lot of these fighters are getting too much respect. So, you know, it's one of those ones, use your better judgment and keep those bankrolls growing, of course. I want to say quick, guys, big shout out to everybody. I hit the 100 there, I think it was last night. So I will put out that strategies video that I promised. It will be a good one. I'll try to put in as much, key information that I haven't mentioned in past videos for you guys there. So again, I really appreciate it. I did plan to do about a 6-week run when I started the channel, and was hoping to, maybe 60 subscribers, one a day type thing would have been decent success. So to have 100 at this point, I am impressed by that. We have knocked down the number in the analytics as far as subscribers versus not subscribed for the guys that are watching my videos. So I appreciate that as well. So thank you guys for that. And of course, I'll keep pumping out the content. Hopefully we have some, decent profit this weekend again. Let me know if you guys did place your parlays, the plays that you made. And even if you took me up on any of these bets, the numbers that you got, things like that, I'm always interested to hear. Other than that, guys, I will pump out some more videos. Look for that strategies video. And thanks for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one.